Ariel Helwani in Vancouver alongside YouTube sensation and overall jiu-jitsu wizard, Ryron Gracie. And it is great to see you, my friend, because I'm a huge fan of your work online. Your videos, I was just talking to Henzo about it on my show. And the first thing I'd like to ask is, how did you even come up with this idea to do the Gracie breakdowns online after the fights? Where did that come from?
A friend of ours, his name is Guy Valente. He's got an academy in Miami. Him and his brother Pedro and Joaquin, they run a school, and Guy said, you got to do it. It was his idea. He told me, we told Henner, there it was.
So the first one, when was it that you put out?
Oh, I don't know, maybe a year, I would imagine. I have no idea.
How long did it take for it to start, building momentum to where every event now we wait for these videos to come out and see your take on it?
Yeah, I think immediately, like, our direct fan base was like, wow, this is great. But then now it's going beyond our Gracie Academy, followers. So I think that maybe happened after like 8 or 10, 1 or 2 big fights. And then from now on, everybody I talked to was like, yo, where's the next breakdown? They're asking for breakdowns for this event this weekend already. So
they want previews.
They want a breakdown, like do one on these two guys. No matter what happens, get these two, do the Mark Munoz and Damian Maia breakdown no matter what. Can you guarantee, can you promise me he don't? I'm like, hey, calm down, we'll see.
You know what I like? I love those videos, but you have a video that you're making a smoothie. And you guys are talking about it and things like that. That's fascinating to me, the way you're able to really discuss the science behind making a smoothie.
Yeah, well, the science, the technique, yes. Right? There's technique to everything, and it's cool because I made one vegetable one and one juice one. Henner has like 3 or 4 fruit smoothies, right. And it's our grandfather to our father, to our uncles, to us, every morning, first thing, make whatever you want, vegetables or fruits, no matter how much work and time. So it's been like, since we were kids, we were raised around watching this, so we're just kind of saying what they said to us. And they're coaching us, like, hey, he don't wash it like this, do this, peel this here, cut it like this. So we learned from, way back there from my grandfather.
Have you had any TV networks or anything like that contact you to try to put this on television?
Many networks, many ideas, whether it be the Gracie breakdowns, whether it be little reality shows, everything's an idea and everybody talks about it, but we still haven't found the perfect mate, We got to find just the right one.
Still looking.
Still looking, still waiting.
Now, what is the Gracie way? If someone hears about this, so how would you describe that?
It's pretty much what Carlos and Helio Gracie stood for, which would be, efficiency, health, right? Just being respect, discipline, all the a little bit of spirituality that Carlos practiced. So just basically looking out for yourself and everybody else and sharing and helping. It's not even the Gracie way. It's the way of many other groups and people, and we just kind of added jiu-jitsu to it and we call it the Gracie way. But all in all is eat healthy, train, and just live a good life.
You just mentioned something off camera, an interesting factoid, if you will, that you cleaned the mat at the first UFC.
Yeah, I was looking at the UFC, at the octagon over there while Mark's doing his interview, and I'm like, man, I actually wiped the blood off the first UFC, canvas. And they actually called in, some moms complained and said, this is ridiculous. You got 12-year-olds cleaning blood. So my dad was like, hey, you're fired. You can't do this anymore. So from that day forward, I lost my job. But it would be cool to do that once again, right?
So you only did it for one event?
I believe so, one event, UFC 1.
Did you have any idea, obviously your father was a big part of launching the UFC, but did you have any idea that it would turn into what it has today?
The funny part is, at UFC 1, I felt like it was already huge. Because we were in Torrance, everybody in Torrance knew Royce, and they knew my father, so it was huge at UFC 2. UFC 3, like whatever, 80,000, 100,000 plus spectators. So I couldn't even really imagine it being bigger, but it makes perfect sense why it is, why it got to this point right here, right now.
What would also make perfect sense is to see you and your brother fight in the UFC.
That would be really nice. That would be cool to do that. And
why don't you?
It's tricky. I always get asked that question, and jiu-jitsu, the beauty of jiu-jitsu is what? Is the ability to defend yourself. It's self-defense. It's to survive and seize the right opportunity. And it could be a little bit tricky in a 3-5 minute rounds, to do that. And these days, it's all about the athlete who's going in there to be on top of the fight for the whole 3-5 minutes, 3 5-minute rounds, not really doing anything except for a couple punches here and there. And because he has top position, the world thinks he's the better fighter, when really his level of comfort is, 1/10 that of somebody possibly more experienced on the bottom, using all kinds of technique to survive and defend. So there's just no, I guess, major need. Right. You know, if I wasn't paying my bills and I was really hungry, that would be one thing. But we're doing very well with our, you know, online universities and so on. So no rush.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, at least not for now.
Well, I remember UFC 1 when I was able, not I, but when their fights would go 20, 30, 40 minutes. There's a certain pressure that gets put on the fighters now, because you have to go for the kill, because you don't want to let the fight possibly go 20 minutes. You want to finish this quickly. So that idea would put fighters in there, and they would go to win, and they would expose themselves. But right now, we can play to the clock. It's very easy to play to the clock and know that you have, you know, 30 seconds left, like GSP, purposely taking Jake Shields down the last 10 seconds, but then kind of standing back up. So he's very smart. He's a genius in the octagon. That's why he does so well. So I guess I don't have to practice a lot about that game. But at the end of the day, I'm about just grabbing you and tangling myself up with you and just let it roll. And if 5 minutes is going to stop me and I need 30 more seconds, it's like, come on. Right, exactly. And it's, you guys walk in the cage these days thinking about what? They walk in like, okay, he likes arm locks, he likes triangles, leg locks. Let's just defend them all. Just run, 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 run. There's not even that desire to beat me up anymore. So it would almost be even, I would almost be better, like more likely to fight if no one even knew I did jiu-jitsu and thought I did like some other stand-up martial art, and they would go in with more intent to beat me, and they would expose themselves more.
Right. Recently, there was a bit of a, I guess, controversy because your YouTube page was taken down due to some copyright issues with the UFC. How was that resolved?
It was resolved. Dana White and some other promoters, friends of ours, hooked it up. Basically, I think YouTube does something where they scan the code of the video, and YouTube itself did it. It wasn't even the UFC, but YouTube said, you know what? The UFC owns this, or Zuffa, and these guys are using it. Let's give them a check. So they actually figured out that, we figured out that it wasn't from the UFC. Like, you know what? Let's put the Gracies down. They don't even care. So they actually cleared the strikes against us on YouTube, and it's up running again. But we're not going to use the footage of the actual live, of the fight in our breakdowns, which is a little bit of a bummer, but at the end of the day, if we explain it well enough, they'll understand what's happening.
All right, well, keep doing what you do, my friend. I'm a huge fan, and I can't wait to watch them after every event. It's great stuff.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I thank you for everybody for watching it.